Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Mush back at it with another video, and I'm here to do the video that you guys love to see. Me telling you about delisted games after they get delisted. Huzzah! No, to be fair, this time around, Disney didn't really give us much of a heads up that these games were gonna get delisted, so I am sorry. I try to be a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to games getting delisted, just something we gotta deal with in terms of gaming and licensing agreements and things of that nature. Now, this is an interesting one where a lot of games were delisted, and I don't know why they didn't do a little bit of a heads up, run discounts on games or don't run discounts on games. Sometimes they just delist these games or announce them for delisting and they don't even put deals on them, but we'll talk about that. And given that we're on the topic of delisting, I do want to give you guys a heads up on Yakuza 3 Remastered if you do want to get a copy of that. Man, has there been a lot of controversy around Kiwami 3 coming out, and probably like the worst stretch of bad PR for one RGG, who generally speaking, one of the more beloved studios in all of gaming, but not a great time for RGG, but we'll talk that at the end of this video. Alright, first of all, Disney delists 14 games from Steam without warning, and yeah, the games are gone forever, as noted by Wario64. The games are Phineas and Ferb, New Inventions, Disney's Hercules, Stunt Island, Afterlife, Disney, The Princess and the Frog, Cars Radiator, Spring's Adventures, Disney's Fairies, Tinkerbell's Adventure, Toy Story Mania, Disney Winnie the Pooh, Lucidity, Disney Planes, Armed and Dangerous, Chicken Little Ace in Action, and Finding Nemo. Now, while those games aren't really relevant to me, those are a lot of notable IPs that I imagine a lot of people grew up with. I was never like a Disney guy growing up, and I'm not really, I like Toy Story, don't care for, Phineas and Ferb, don't care for, like, I literally don't care for any of these, but, nonetheless, games getting delisted is always a bummer. I always go back to the Transformers story about Transformers War and Fall of Cybertron being delisted. It's probably those two games and X-Men Origins Wolverine. And you know what? Also, Spec Ops: The Line being delisted, that's a huge bummer. And yeah, it is kind of insane. Like, think about those four games and quality level of those four games just gone. Spec Ops: The Line being gone is kind of an insane one now that I actually think about it. Spec Ops is a phenomenal game. But I always do tell the Transformers War for Cybertron story about how I was like upset in so many videos for years about how that game got delisted. And then one day last year, I went through my Steam library and I didn't think I owned the game, but turned out I did own the game. I had like 40 minutes played on the game, and I was like, wait a second, what is going on here? That is an indictment of just how pathetic I am when it comes to buying games, forgetting about them, things of that nature. I did my initial playthrough of War for Cybertron on PlayStation 3, but I digress. Games getting delisted, always a little bit of a bummer, but if you do own these games, hey, your Steam account, I guess, is a little bit more valuable now. The most notable game seems to be Armed and Dangerous. That game does have a very positive reception. 306 reviews, 88% positive, so it doesn't really matter now since the game's gone, so I'm not really trying to sell you on any of these games, but let's look at some of these other games. What about the Phineas and Ferb game? Did the Phineas and Ferb game have a good reception? Mixed reception, 22 reviews, 59% positive. Like, Phineas and Ferb was kind of big when I was growing up, so that has been delisted. Toy Story Mania, what's Toy Story Mania's reception? Oh, not very good, 54% off as well. 54%, excuse me, as well. So, games aren't received that well, but always a bummer seeing games getting delisted. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So, yeah, there you go with that. Speaking of games getting delisted, while Yakuza 3 Remastered will not be getting delisted, the game will be getting baked into the Yakuza Complete Pack as the only way to get the game after Yakuza Kiwami 3 releases. Yakuza Kiwami 3 will be a $60 title, so, some people will not want to check that out, and also a lot of people are not crazy about some of the changes, art direction shift, in Yakuza Kiwami 3, and a variety of other things about Yakuza Kiwami 3 that isn't ideal. However, if you do want a copy of Yakuza 3 Remastered in your Steam library and you do not want to pay the outrageous $130 for the Complete Collection, remember the Complete Collection also has Yakuza 0 Director's Cut in it and not Yakuza 0 anymore. Yakuza 0, the original release, I believe, is just straight gone from Steam, which is very, very unfortunate. Yakuza 0 is an absolutely iconic game, and that game being gone from Steam is tragic. I know, again, the director's cut is available on Steam, but tragic that the original release is not. But if you want Yakuza 3 Remastered, it is 11% off over at Fanatical for $17.88. I don't know what they're doing as far as after Kiwami 3 comes out. Are they going to have Yakuza 3 Remastered continue to be listed? I don't believe they will, because Yakuza 3 Remastered, you can still buy it on Steam for $19.99. However, after Kiwami 3 comes out, the only way to get it is with the complete collection. I believe this is done for a plethora of reasons. First of all, financially motivated, of course, given that they want people to spend the $60 on the game versus, you know, having Yakuza 3 Remastered listed for $19.99. On top of that, they want it so if a user types in Yakuza 3 on Steam, they don't want Yakuza 3 Remastered to be listed and the people be like, hey, that game is $19.99, what is this, what's the difference? And then a lot of the times that just creates confusion in terms of what game people are gonna buy, and I know that sounds crazy to some of you guys, but it absolutely does happen, and they would rather streamline it, and at the end of the day, again, they're charging $60 for Kiwami 3, and they want the sales of that game to be stronger than Yakuza 3 Remastered, but there has also been a lot of controversy regarding Yakuza 3 and the shift of the art direction, and also quite a lot of controversy in the casting choices. You know, it is what it is. This is the most amount of negative press that I've seen for RGG in a long time, if not ever. RGG generally is a studio that is absolutely beloved and people love their works, and I still think Kiwami 3 is going to do fairly well, you know, relative to what Yakuza is just going to do. I'm not saying it's going to do incredibly well. It's a remake of an older game that, you know, people will want to play Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, and 2 first before they play Kiwami 3. I think that's inherently an issue with the Yakuza games where people want to be caught up, much like the Legend of Heroes games. It's just a very big undertaking to be caught up on all of those games, and most people are not going to want to jump into Kiwami 3 without playing Yakuza 0, 1, and 2, but them's the breaks on that. But, you know, for the core Yakuza fan base, I still think it's gonna do okay, but we'll see. Maybe it won't do absolutely blow away numbers. I still think Kiwami 3 is going to be, like, at a mechanical level and a content level, it's still probably gonna be a pretty decent game, but you would want it to be a pretty decent game while Yakuza 3 Remastered is still retained as a game. You guys know how I feel, and then people come out and be like, why are you complaining about it? You had so long to pick up Yakuza 3. I didn't know that there was a time limit that needs to be put in place on when you're allowed to buy a game. Like, whoa, I guess that's something new that we need to implement into digital storefronts, that you have a finite window to buy video games. I didn't know that's something that people wanted implemented in gaming, but I digress. That take is just absolutely absurd to me. Yes, I get it. Yakuza 3 has been on sale several times. That is no reason for a game to no longer be available in its regular form. Like, what kind of take is that? But I digress. Yakuza 3 Remastered available on Fanatical. You can get it for $17.88 ahead of Kiwami 3's launch. But that is going to do it for me. Again, Disney has delisted 14 games from Steam. Unfortunate. It's not like they're the biggest games in the world, but games getting delisted is always a bummer, and Yakuza 3 Remastered will not be getting delisted, but if you want to get it in your library in the future, it's going to cost a pretty penny, but Fanatical does have a little bit of a discount on it, and you can check that out right now. That'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.